What's up everyone, it's Dakota, welcome back to another modern video, and today I got a pretty sweet looking deck that came from the third Modern at Home 3-0 first place finish. I don't know how big this tournament was obviously, but the deck looks really sweet and it looks something that could actually be pretty good in the current metagame as it stands, so I thought it was worth at least taking a look at and kind of breaking it down for y'all today. So before we get into it too deep, though, of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you know when I post videos as they go up. In a link in the description of this video, there's two links. One goes to my Twitch channel. If you're interested in more live content, things like that, go ahead, throw me a follow over on Twitch so you know when I go live. And there's a link in the description to the Discord server. If that is something that interests you, feel free to join and talk about magic and fun stuff like that. So, all right, Abzan combo is what it's called. Now, the combo isn't super different. It's nothing like new. We have this devoted druid and vizier remedies like combo. For those that are not privy to what that combo exactly is, devoted druid is this like weird mana dork from like the Lorwyn, like OG like Lorwyn sets. That taps to add a green, but you can put a -1/-1 counter on it to untap devoted druid. With combined with Vizier remedies, which says if one or more -1/-1 counters be put on a creature you control, you put that many on there -1. So essentially, Devoted Druid gets to untap for free. You put a counter on it, it cannot get the counter because 1 - 1 is 0. So then you just make infinite green mana. And you're trying to channel all of this into a walking ballista that is obviously infinitely big, or you can finale a devastation, search up a creature, and with X being a lot, if X is 10 or more creatures you control get +X in haste. So essentially makes any creature into a crater hoof of sorts, just obviously a little different, but the idea being the same. And how it is enacting that game plan is actually using Tyvar Jubilant Brawler, which is a new Planeswalker from the Phyrexia All Will Be One set. That has this neat little static ability that says you may activate the abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures had haste, and it has a ability at -2 to mill 3 cards and return a creature with converted mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. So essentially, Tyvar accomplishes two things. One, it allows you to combo like at instant speed. You normally have to like wait a turn for your devoted druid to be able to activate and things like that. Tyvar just basically allows you to do it right away. On top of, if you don't have a devoted druid but you have one in your graveyard, you can minus it, bring it back, and then you're able to go right into your combo. Or pick up your Vizier remedies, just a one of in the deck. Maybe you try to go off earlier and it ended up there, what have you. Or you could even mill it and then end up bringing it back with Tyvar's ability. The +1, untapping up to one target creature. This could be used as like a defensive option per se. Like Giver of Runes, you can like preemptively give something protection from a color, get in some damage, and then Tyvar to untap it. Uh, Giver of Runes also being a card that benefits from, Tyvar already being in play and then playing it to like protect, your Devoted Druid or like your Vizier remedies and things like that. Um, some of the other cards, like the artifacts, you see that we have like a Stoneforge Mystic package. There's the Cauldron Complete that is basically always showing up with Stoneforge Mystic. Uh, Eschewing the Batterskull, you have Luxor Gyada's Gift, which essentially gets to do the same thing as what Vizier Remedies does for uh, the Devoted Druid, giving a creature +1/+1 for each counter on it. You put a -1/-1 counter on it, it gets a static +1/+1, cancels each other out. Obviously, if somehow any other counters get put on them, then it'll end up getting bigger, but the fact that it just evens out is totally perfect. Also has the hidden mode of just being Planeswalker beat down with Tyvar, which, could be pretty sweet. It could be something that happens. Shadow Spear, obviously getting to put it on a giant construct with Urza Saga. Putting on any one of your creatures just makes it slightly more annoying, harder for other aggressive decks to kind of get in. Viridian Longbow, you can equip it to a creature, and the equipped creature has tap this to deal 1 damage to any target. This is also another way that you can win with Devoted Druid. You just have a Vizier Remedies in a Druid with a Viridian Longbow attached to a Druid. You can tap it, deal damage to your opponent, put a -1/-1 counter on it. Can't get the counter, untap it, ping your opponent, so on and so forth. Ending the game that way. You have Aldrami's Call, just 2 of them, to search up maybe the missing piece, whether you're just looking for the Ballista, looking for maybe the other Devoted Druid, or just trying to grab that one copy of Vizier. You also have Extraction Specialist and Skyclave Apparition as tutor targets. Extraction Specialist, getting a creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. That creature can attack or block as long as Extraction Specialist is in play. But obviously, the idea is that you get back, like Stoneforge Mystic, you get back Devoted Druid, you get back a Vizier of Remedies. Even getting like a Giver of Runes or like a Birds of Forge Tender is fine. The idea is that like these creatures really aren't attacking per se. We're using them for like their activated abilities. So extraction specialists, like a downside to getting something back is not really like a downside. We make it like a uh, very minute thing. Skyclave Apparition also just being kind of catch-all removal for anything converted mana cost 4 or less that is on our opponent's battlefield at the cost of when this leaves the battlefield, creating an XX blue illusion for our opponent. The mana base, it looks like it focuses a lot on just like mana production, just making sure that you have all your colors, you have like your fetch lands, you have a Horizon Canopy to be able to draw, a card in late game. You have 4 Urza Sagas, obviously getting to search for one of the win conditions in Viridian Longbow, Giada's Gift to be able to go off with like our Devoted Druid and things like that. Not really needing very many targets. As you can see, there's some of the sideboard here with like Lantern of the Lost and Haywire Might. And that is the Abzan combo deck. It looks like just kind of a retrain of the Vizier Remedies Devoted Druid combo, a deck that we'd seen like years ago and just never really seemed to like find its footing in like this new place in Modern. And now with some resiliency, there's some decks that like this that were playing like Postmortem Plunge, which lets you return a creature from your graveyard, give it haste, and then you exile it at the end of turn. Uh, so just having something that's a more permanent threat, like in Tyvar, something a little bit harder to deal with. Obviously, with some of the unholy heats flying around, Tyvar is probably not long for this world. But the fact that it will kind of get get the creature back and allow you to kind of go off, and it's kind of hard to interact with the Devoted Druid combo once they kind of establish their game plan in a timely manner. So that's going to do it for me this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you want to see gameplay of this deck, let me know in the comments of this video, and I will try to get some gameplay, trying to show it off. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider supporting me by doing that and ringing the notification bell. It's awesome. It's a free way and easy way to support my content. Of course, I greatly appreciate it. And that's going to do it for me. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next video.